Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be talking about Mr. Electric Marvyn Roy. Marvyn Roy. This, by the way, I believe it was published by Magic Words. It is called Mr. Electric Unplugged by Marvyn Roy. It's an autobiography, Mike Caveney's Magic Words. I don't know exactly when it was published. It was a while ago. This says 2005, so it's not a recent book. I will tell you, I hate to confess this, but I purchased this book when it was new, 2005. It went on my shelf. It stayed on my shelf. Recently, I picked it up. I started reading it, and I thought, oh man, why didn't I read this 20 years ago, right? Oh man, why did I waste so much time? I don't know if you're familiar with Marvyn Roy, but he's had one of the most unique acts, I think, in the history of magic. You know, he comes out of a particular period in time that just like the Ghost Show. It's a piece of history now. Just like the Grand Traveling Illusion Show. Those are all pieces of history now. And the atmosphere that he came out of. First of all, he kind of came up in the competition atmosphere. So he was very theme oriented from the beginning, and we'll talk about a little bit of that. But as he developed his specialty, which was light, Mr. Electric. You know, he focused on a very particular thing, and he became in demand in the club circuit. I'm not sure there is a club circuit anymore. Maybe there is. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I'm not talking about comedy clubs here. I'm talking about nightclubs, and I just don't know that exists anymore. So I think it's a relic of the past. But the biography, he is such a talented writer. He gives you his life story so beautifully and wonderfully and so inspirational. So I would encourage you, if you're at all able to do that, pick up this book, read it. You know, I think it's just fantastic. You know that I throw dust covers away. I didn't throw the dust jacket away because I love images of Marvyn Roy. I think it's very. Look at it holding this huge light bulb. It's lighting in his hand. I think that image is extremely magical. So, and I've done some of his material without even knowing I did his material. The melt to light bulb is one of his signature effects, and I didn't know that at the time I was doing it. Marvyn Roy, born 1925, passed away 2020, just 5 years ago. This is 2025 as I record this. He was 95 years old. God bless him. He lived a good life. Marvyn Roy was born in Los Angeles on April 1st, 1925. April Fool's Day. Why not? He was mentored by magician Ray Muse. He named Best Magician under the age of 21 at the Pacific Coast Association of Magicians Convention in San Francisco. He did an act with silk called Marvin the Silk Merchant. Again, he was very focused on theme and being consistent in that theme. While in the U.S. Army, Marvyn Roy was among the second wave of soldiers that landed on Normandy in 1944. He was wounded and received the Purple Heart. Then he was attached to special services and performed in variety shows to entertain the troops for the duration of his service. Thank you so much for your service, Marvyn Roy. Following the service, he studied theater at UCLA. He started performing professionally in 1949. In 1950, I think this is very interesting. In 1950, in conjunction with Alan Wakeling. Now, you guys are familiar. Alan Wakeling is another genius of magic. In conjunction with Alan Wakeling, he began to develop what he called artistry in light. He began to work with light. And Alan Wakeling worked with him to develop the beginning of the rudimentary start of what would become Mr. Electric. At the request of an agent, he learned to ice skate in order to present his act on ice. I mean, that's dedication, is it not? At the Conrad Hotel in Chicago, he met Carol Williams. who was an ice skater and rope spinner. They married on Labor Day 1956, and throughout the 50s they gained popularity as Mr. Electric and Carol. He opened for Liberace and Dean Martin. He was on the Ed Sullivan Show 4 times in 1 year. 4 times in 1 year. He was on the Merv Griffin Show, the Hollywood Palace, and the Tonight Show. He played the Lido di Paris, the London Palladium, Radio City Music Hall, and in Las Vegas he played the Stardust, the MGM Grand, and the Desert Inn. They retired in 1997. His wife passed away in 2009. He published his memoirs in 2005. And by the way, I'm going to put a couple of links down below. If you have not seen his act, if you want to see, I mean, you've got Cardini, you've got Lance Burton's Dove Act. These are the kinds of acts I'm talking about. Extremely polished, extremely clean, thematic acts. If you want to see one of the best acts in magic history, I'm going to put 2 links down below. Take a look at those. He is an extraordinary performer, and this is an extraordinary autobiography. Please read it. Again, thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you've not done so already. Please comment down below. I love your comments. Have a great day, everyone.